Okay, I am live. Hello, everybody. After my incomprehensible rant, I hope you are happy. Now I've decided to come live and let's see if someone joins my stream. I still have almost 1.5 hours to go before I start my work. I'm just pissed big time. Let's see if I can get someone to discuss this. I feel like Phil right now. Honestly, nothing to talk. I just vented out so much. I tend to get distracted a lot. Maybe I should like prepare some points prior. If I really have to do this, maybe I will end up doing this after a while. It seems like that. Oh, oh my God. Hmm. Let's give it some time before people show up. There is no comment here, and I don't think there's anyone watching. Hey, Hillbilly, how are you? Go to my. I'm sorry, let me mute this. Where is YouTube schizophrenic? I'm trying to reach him, but he doesn't reply. Yeah, right. So Swara Bhaskar is tweeting right now. Nehru. We are lucky to have Nehru. Seriously. Yep. You want to come on? You have the link. If you want to come on, if you have, come. We'll just chit chat. I'm really pissed right now. I want to relax because I can't smoke weed like you. Hey, Karen, you want to come in? Nothing. We are not talking about any serious thing. I need to get this whole thing out of my system. I won't be bringing it up. So, Mm, yes, Karen, sober life. Come, Karen, join the stream. I guess nobody likes to be a part of this. Okay, never mind. I have. Mm, oh my god, look who's here. You're alive. Karen, you're muted.
I'm here. I had to mute myself because the
Uh-huh.
YouTube video is still going.
Which one?
I was like watching you on a different browser,
Mm-hmm.
and then it kept going, so I didn't want it to destroy everybody's ears.
It's okay. Whenever I talk, people always complain of like ear damage.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm just reading that fucking email that I'm required to reply. I haven't replied to it yet.
What did they actually ask you?
I have no idea. Please explain yourself.
Oh.
And never mind. Let's not talk about it. It's just that I feel so pissed. I feel so angry. It's because like I used to wonder how it is like in America, um, that SJWs get people fired and all that, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
I feel like it's easy
I
to get fired at most companies in America. It's harder to get fired if you work for the government because they have such a long process and there's so many steps you have to take before you can get fired.
yeah, I think mostly in for government sector, it's like they change the department if it is like too bad,
Yeah.
and or they just like issue a warning to the person. They set up like an inquiry, and then the person gets like right puts a written apology, and that's it.
I've seen people get transferred to different
Hmm.
places as a result of their actions, but
Oh yeah,
they actually get fired.
yeah, hillbilly. I don't want to discuss that in open like that. I already discussed it in the Discord, so that's okay. But if you want to join the stream, we can have a conversation. I've got my manager here. Yes, she's the most powerful manager. Her name is Karen.
Kind of testy today. I pulled out my manager skills on the UPS
Hmm.
people because I ordered something from Amazon and they shipped it, but then they took away the tracking information and now it's missing. And you can't
Whoa.
talk to anybody at UPS unless you have a tracking number, but they took it away. Not even Amazon can see it.
So can't you like file a claim of item not received?
Amazon refunded me the money, but if I don't get the item that I ordered, then I'm gonna have to reorder it, and
Hmm.
the item now is $120 more than what it was when I first bought it.
Oh my God, what is that? That goes price go up by $100.
Well, it went up because the item's no longer available from Amazon and it's only available from like a third party seller.
Hmm.
So the seller changed.
Call call UPS and tell them, listen, you dare defy me, mortals?
I called them and they have nobody who actually they don't have real people answering the phones right now because of the coronavirus. So I ended up having to
Mhm.
email them. But even to email them, I had to find an old tracking number. That way I could actually have like a valid tracking number to put into the form to even be able to send my email.
Okay,
The whole thing's stupid. Made me
I
angry.
know.
Oh, that sucks, Hillbilly. I got in touch with Amazon through the chat function on the app, and it only took a couple minutes.
Hillbilly, get on stream. You have the link. Get on stream. Let me post the link here. Well, I'm so glad you came in.
I brighten everybody's day.
Don't flatter yourself, honey.
Excuse me.
Excuse what? Uh-huh.
Uh,
Mm.
Z snapped me over
Girl.
here.
I don't know. That's getting very. I need to eat some junk food. Oh God. I feel like an American right now. I need some KFC.
I don't like KFC. For some reason, it just grosses me out, the idea of it. And I've never
Mhm.
liked it, but I don't think I've actually ever eaten from KFC before.
Okay, then how do you hate it if you haven't tried it?
Because the idea of it just grosses me out. I'm not sure why. I've just always had an aversion to fast
Hmm.
food places.
Okay. Oh, so you're one of those gluten-free this and organic that.
No, I'm not. I tried going gluten free because I get migraines, and they thought that it might be causing my migraines. And
Celiac disease, is it?
I did it for 6 months, and it was the worst 6 months of my life.
Yeah, you need gluten to survive. Your body functions it unless you have like the celiac disease or something. Then that's a different thing. But for normal people,
Right.
gluten is required for nutrition. No, I thought hillbilly, you like go to the barn and just grab the chicken and then bite the head off and then drink the blood or something. I used to think that's how you like preferred your chicken. Uh,
I like fried chicken, but I make my own, and I do it in a pan. I don't like
mhm.
deep fry it.
I actually like to cook my chicken in microwave. It really cooks well.
Huh. Never tried that.
Yeah, you put it in a bowl and then you cook it. It really cooks well.
Do you have to put any like do you put butter or anything with it to keep it moist?
Of, of course, I dip it in spicy gravy.
Huh.
I first marinate it with black pepper and white vinegar, and then I like my microwave came with a recipe book, so I just follow the instructions.
Interesting. I've never
But
heard
it really
of
cooks well.
I've never heard of that.
No, no, you can cook chicken in the microwave. It really cooks well
Huh. I'll have to try
because
it
because it's
sometime.
like evenly cooked. I know. Gordon Ramsay has like destroyed the credibility of microwaves for people, but you know
I cook my
he
bacon
has.
in the microwave because then it's less greasy.
I also have made omelets in microwave. They turn out really interesting. Not like the regular one on a pan, but rather slightly different. Um, it's like all fluffy and swelled up. That's how they turn out. I feel
Yeah.
so miserable right now. Unless I get a clearance on this, I'll be like miserable for like 5 days. God, I hate this feeling. Do you have anything in your office like performance improvement plan where some employee who has a bad performance, they are given a warning, and then if you don't improve in like next 1 month, you'll be fired?
Um no. What what we have is every year, once a year, we have performance reviews, and
Mm-hmm.
most, if not all, people get good performance reviews. I think, like, if you get a bad performance review, they give you um,
Mm-hmm.
they assist you. Your manager is there to help you get better, and so they assist you in improving your performance. But I don't think there's a time frame on it. I think it's just as long as you show improvement, then it's fine. But I've never seen anybody get fired for poor performance.
Okay.
But we have like development programs. Um, so if you're a manager of people, you get enrolled in a development program. If you're a
Mm-hmm.
recent graduate, you get enrolled with a development program.
Negs is live right now, just at the same time as I. Negs,
Oh,
negative
okay.
reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what just happened? Okay, he's doing a. I can't hear him. Hold on, hold on. Oh my god, what is he watching? Ah, yeah, he's doing some review, he's doing some video. Laugh at something. Wow, I ranted for 50 minutes last time. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, Hillbilly, come on stream, dude. So you still working from home, Karen, or have you like your office is functional again?
I'm going to be working from home until at least August.
Whoa. Is it fun or depressing?
I don't mind it because I have a dog, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not like I'm home alone all day. Um, but uh, it is difficult not having face to face interaction with people
Mm-hmm.
when you're working with them on things or you're trying to complete projects. So that's a little bit difficult.
So, what do you think of the culture war?
Which cultures? All of
Let's
them.
talk about yours. Because ours
My
is like a
culture?
little more complicated than, yeah, because ours is a little more complicated than just, liberal
Well,
versus conservative. It's a lot convoluted than that.
right now, the big thing, I don't know if you heard, there was a black man who was murdered by um, 4 cops
Oh, I
yesterday.
saw that. The
Yeah.
guy, the guy is sitting with his knee on his head.
Yeah.
I saw that. I saw that.
So there's this big, um, I don't know if I would call it a culture war. I guess it is a culture war because people tend to split themselves into um, like the Black Lives Matter group, the
Of
All
course.
Lives Matter group, and then like the Blue Lives Matter group, which is police officers.
Okay. But why was he killed? The guy. What was there? Like, what is the
He was
police's reasoning behind it?
being retained for forgery, is what I saw, and
Hmm.
they um, I didn't see the video and I haven't really read into it that much, but they were retaining him for that. And the one police officer pinned him down and had him under his knee, like he had his neck on his knee on the ground.
No, I saw that picture that's like next to the car, and he's
Yeah,
like sitting there like that. Yeah, I saw that.
and the guy was saying, like, stop, I can't breathe, and his nose was bleeding and all this stuff. So, I mean,
Hmm.
it's hard to know
So
what the
they
cop.
basically went and like, yeah, they went like really too rough on this guy, and he just, so he died like while they were arresting him. That's when he got
Right,
killed.
yeah,
Oh my
because
God,
he was
that's true.
essentially suffocated.
Okay, this is like that similar incident that happened some time back. I remember Ferguson. It was, I think.
Yeah, where they killed the man who hadn't done anything wrong. They shot him.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I remember he said, "I can't breathe," and that sort of became like a slogan for this, the movement. I can't breathe. I remember that. This happened like
yeah,
I think 2 years back. I think.
yeah, and I mean, the issue I have with the whole thing is just the division it causes within our country because no, the police should never act like this and they should not kill people
Mhm.
while they're trying
Yeah, I
to
mean, if you're
arrest
yeah,
them.
if you're arresting someone, yeah, if you're arresting someone, arrest them. Why would
Right.
they get killed?
But
Yeah,
at the same time, like you can't just go and assume all police officers are this
yeah,
evil entity and
Uh,
that there's issues
yeah.
with police officers and the justice system protecting police officers when they've done something wrong, and
Hmm.
that's not okay either. But for everybody just to say like fuck cops and um, hope that cops go away, like that's not the answer either. It's much more complex
True. I
than
mean,
that.
you cannot have toothless police. Honestly,
Right.
there has to be some level of authority and power with the police. But these things are also scary. I mean, police brutality is a reality. I have seen it
I
in
agree
my
with you.
country. Things are a lot pretty bad as well. There are some times where cops will just rough you up here simply because you were acting like a smart ass. So, I mean, I know the whole thing, and our system is like the worst because it's very archaic. Our
Mhm.
court and police system was something that was put in place by the British, so it's not there for to like help people. It's rather there to control them. And
Right.
unfortunately, out of all the things that are being reformed, nobody, even the current, all powerful government, um, is also not acknowledging this particular aspect, because I think if the court system, and in my country, if the court system and the police improve, most, if not all, but majority of our social issues will be resolved. Honestly, who was that? I heard an echo.
Oh, that was me.
That was your dude voice.
Well, I just opened up YouTube again. That way I could mod the chat if I had to, because I had
Okay,
closed
no
it.
problem. There is nobody watching us. I think there are like
There's
two
four
people
people
there.
watching.
Oh my god, I'm famous.
You're super famous. You're the most famous YouTuber.
I'm actually the biggest YouTuber among all of the people.
I think it's
Hey, the biggest YouTuber is talking. No, I have like 1,300 subs, 1,295 subs. I don't know
how
how
many of
much
them did you
it
buy?
have. I did not buy any of them. This is a 10-year-old Google account. So I used to have the channel modded. Oh, I lost 2 subs.
People are
Wow, the
mad.
only comment here. Yeah, I got a comment on my YouTube video. go to the website to meet amazing sweet girls.
That's not malware or anything.
No, of course not. It's like actually the girls are trying to meet me. They have even, tried to gift me iPads. You know,
Hillbilly says, "Where are all of the subs?"
where are all the subs? Oh well, now that's a secret I'm trying to unlock for quite some time. I would rather have, honestly, I would rather have like 10 people interacting with me and I'm able to respond to them. Of course, that's how it is actually on my channel. But
Yeah, I agree with you.
I have seen like live chats where like it's like 1,000 people watching, 2,000 people watching. The only way you can actually get a response from the streamer, especially on a conversation stream, is like if you throw coins at the monkey, if you do the
Yeah.
live super chat. Because
Well, yeah, I agree with you. And like I know that YouTube has been doing weird things lately. Like I don't get notified of anybody's videos that I am subscribed to. I haven't for
one thing
months.
that I am thinking of doing is I'm going to unsubscribe from all these, tech channels, cell phone reviews, and all of these top 10 horror clips. How number 15. I'm going to unsubscribe from all of these.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick to the one that I like because there are a bunch of people um, that I miss their streams, and they're also like small, just like me. I mean, Negs is still pretty big. His channel is monetized with live chat and super chat. But there is this Lisa Duncan. She's good. Um, she does some streams, and I often try to catch her, but it's often like missed. So then there is another one whose name is Lucy.
Hmm.
She does some streams. Lucy is the one who got attacked by Elvis. You know Elvis? Elvis Travel?
I don't think so.
Okay. He's like if okay, he has that Elvis haircut. He's very fat. He lives in a van, like one of those trailer type vans, like a movable house. And when he streams, people say, "Hey, type one in the chat if you want me to do this." What he does is say, "Type 69 in the chat if you want me to do something." And he is quite a character. RSN has covered him, and Roger Brown talks about it.
Hmm.
Oh wow, Kathy Griffin is back.
Hillbilly said he always
Lucy.
involves his chat in his streams. I feel like that's really the only way you can do it. Like otherwise it's just boring and then it's like you're just talking to
Hmm.
yourself and it just seems
I
very
am kind of like
narcissistic.
talking to myself. Yeah. Hmm. But I need some more diverse, and I'm not saying like diversity inclusion, but I'm saying like I need more people watching me for me to have a conversation more interesting. It's like I can't talk out of my ass for 50 minutes, as you might have seen for the last 2 3 days. I'm trying to do solo streams.
Yeah.
Even though I'm talking about a topic, I digress so much. It's like maybe I'll have to like start writing stuff down, making points, and then cover it. I get distracted so much because there is so much there to say that everything becomes like a garbled mess rather than
Yeah, I
more
was noticing
a
I was
focus.
having the same problem when I did my streams on like the classes I took for my master's program.
Hmm.
And I did have to like go and figure out a way to organize my thoughts. Otherwise, like you said, like there's so much information to talk about. It's easy to get off track.
Yeah. And sometimes it's like you go off track and start talking about stuff that's more interesting than the topic that you have decided to put on.
Yeah. Well, and then if people ask you questions and things, it's really easy to get off track there too.
Uh-huh. There would not be a streamer without the chat. I know Hillbilly, that is true. But then again, if there is no audience, the streamer cannot just sit there and smell his own farts. I
Some
mean,
of
some
them
people
do.
do that even with the big audience. Yes. Oh. Oh, by the way, I'm back in RSN's community because I decided to get out of Suits community. Because honestly, it was getting a little bit repetitive. Suit has nothing to offer, and everyone is treating with like Karen with a master's is the common fear. Number one fear of the manager. Imagine educated Karen. Oh god. Because most of these like videos that I see, the Karen meltdowns, it's very, very like I feel the people are like they don't seem very bright.
I read this morning that Karen is the number one slang word in the United States for 2020.
Why is that?
It's like the most used slang word in
Hmm.
2020 in the United
Yeah,
States.
but honestly, I watch these compilation videos and all that, uh, and sometimes I'm like, is it really like that in America where people just randomly attack each other? I don't think so.
No, it's not. It's really rare. So I actually worked at Starbucks when I was in college, and
Mhm.
I never encountered anybody who attacked me. Like I encountered people who were rude and not very grateful,
Mhm.
but like that's any customer service industry, and Starbucks is generally known to have the snootiest, meanest customers. And I really didn't
Yeah,
see,
the whole culture of Starbucks is like that. I mean, over
yeah.
here we have a very fancy looking Starbucks, and it's just like number one, it's too expensive. The coffee is like three times the cost that you will get in the another branded outlet, and I mean the ambience is good with the music and the furniture and the paintings on the wall, but all I see is bunch of people sitting on their Macs tweeting at celebrities, nothing else. That's all I see.
Yeah, that's really what it is here too. Um,
Mhm.
and honestly, like Starbucks is really overrated. The only Starbucks coffee that I ever really, really enjoyed, they had, and I don't know if they still do this because I don't go anymore, but they used to
Mhm.
have like the reserve coffee, and they would be smaller bags, like half-pound bags of coffee from all over the world, and they would be at all different types of roasts. And those were really good cups of coffee that I
So
had. But
I have seen those. I have seen those. They sell them here as well, like Ethiopian coffee and
yeah,
Moroccan coffee and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, right. Or
and
we have the largest coffee plantations in the world, so don't.
I mean they're good. They honestly they are all
Yeah, but they're
different and they are
super
all very good.
expensive.
But
They're super expensive.
paying
They're super expensive.
paying like $20 for a half-pound bag of coffee is absolutely asinine. And
Yeah,
honestly, it's just not worth it. Even though it is really good, it's not worth it
I know.
unless you
In
have
fact,
all the
I
money to
recently
blow.
found there's a brand that we get here now, Davidoff. They sell coffee with like the fine roast and all that. I actually was gifted one of the rich aroma coffee by this company, Davidoff,
Uh huh.
and it actually was good. Like compared to what we get in supermarket, like Nestle coffee, Nescafe, and all that. This Davidoff actually had a different taste. I liked it. And then there was once I purchased coffee from we have this international trade fair where we have all this like business event kind of a thing where companies do their promotion. It is open for public by cat. Uh, so there are also stalls of foreign countries. I was able to get Colombian coffee there. It actually has a different taste, honestly.
Yeah.
So there was a whole because Colombia recently cleaned up, so they are really trying to get back in the rest of the world with like tourism and trade. So there was a big time event there. So the Colombia had the biggest stall that year. So I purchased that coffee. I bought like two big bags. It was like buy one get one free because the best thing about these trade events is like when you go like in the end, like when the last 2 days, that is when they are literally doing a clearance, whatever, take it, because they would have to then take up all that unsold items back, which is a loss. So whatever
Mhm.
they can sell out, always, it's like the last 2 days for that trade event are the best. You can buy stuff. You'll get buy one get one free. You will get like 4 bags of exotic chocolate from Sri Lanka for just like 100 rupees in like 4 bags of it. It's quite interesting. I often do that. I always whenever this of course this year it's always in November. So let's hope things will be okay by then. I don't know if that will be organized because we have had like full on festivals where the government said nope, no gathering, no fair, no carnival, no mass praying in the mosque. Nope. So I don't know what's going to become of the trade event.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how everything changes after this is all over.
And I
I'm
feel that a lot of like business travel is going to end because what I have seen is a lot of this business travel where executives travel from one country to other. Like, oh, we are going to our America office, we are going to our Philippines office, we are going to our Singapore office. They go there and they do absolutely nothing.
yeah.
Absolutely nothing. And I feel that a lot of these so-called business travels are just a means of like, tax write-offs.
They could be in some companies, I'm sure.
Because one of my brother-in-law, he's like a cousin's, like my cousin's husband. He runs his own business and he's quite rich.
Hmm.
And he buys a new car every like second year. He buys a new car, and
Wow.
we're talking expensive SUVs, not small ones.
Right.
And I asked my dad, like, why is he changing cars? Like previously he had a different car. What's with him? And he's like, he's buying it on his company's name. So this is a company's car. When you buy something in the name of your company, it can be written off as a business expense.
Hmm.
And after 2 years, when he sells it off, he gets a good return. Then he buys another car, so he gets to enjoy the latest nice fancy little car, and he can still write it off as some expense. I'm like, okay. So maybe this unnecessary business travel by executives. I mean, I have seen it, and you must have seen it too. That you will get this executive to visit a office. What did they do? What did they actually accomplish in that 4 day stay at their, say, Singapore location? Nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Right.
I remember I took a tour to a different location. Nothing I could do which could not be accomplished on the phone or on a Skype call.
Yeah, I think um, sometimes there's differences in different industries where business trips are required, and especially if it has to do with, I'm just trying to think of an example. If it has to do with acquisitions, or if it has to do with political conversations, sometimes conversations with stakeholders have to be done in person. Um, there was one case where the CEO and vice president of another company came and spoke with my company, and they came from Europe
Hmm.
for a 1 day meeting. And it was something that I guess technically we could have given them the same information over like a teleconference type deal, but the fact that they were there in the room made it a more meaningful experience, and it was easier to have a conversation with them about what we were talking about. So, like, sometimes it does pay to do those things, but I agree that it's not always completely necessary.
Hmm.
And then there's other times where I have traveled, and you have to travel because you have to see in person what is going on to be able to move forward on a project.
Mm.
But I'm also in engineering, so that's kind of different.
Karen,
Can you hear me?
Karen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear
I
you.
don't know. My screen suddenly, and I don't know. I'm sorry. So yeah, I remember once we had a China location. The manager from the China location came, and this is like my previous company, not this one. And she came and she had nothing to bring to the table. She had nothing to bring up, and the only thing that happened on her trip was she got sick with something she ate at a street food stall, and that's it.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think all this travel for leisure and the pointless corporate travel will stop. Honestly, I think it will stop. And companies probably will have more separate locations so that if one place shuts down, they can still have backup locations. I think that is going to happen more. And internet infrastructure will improve. If the countries, a lot of countries, like if they have the vision, they will actually invest in new internet infrastructure, I feel, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I feel that when the whole thing happened, the lockdown occurred, um, Donald Trump would have been like, no matter what, the internet must not be hampered. Make sure everybody is connected, otherwise people will kill each other. Honestly, I think that would have been the case. Ah, I just got lucky that I had the Wi-Fi. Like my parents have, we have like tenants in one side of the house, so they had the wired internet. So that fellow is working from home, so that's why I'm able to piggyback on his Wi-Fi and work. Otherwise, getting a new one installed because companies have suddenly increased their rates.
Yeah, I have noticed that. Um, Luckily, I signed a contract that was um, unchangeable until
Mhm.
you leave the contract and come back, for example. So I haven't seen
Yep.
any increases. But at the same time, like my Wi Fi is not always the most reliable.
No, like they have increased the rates not of the rental in terms, but rather the installation. Like if you get a new
Oh,
connection, they are charging you three, I think four times more than what it was.
like
Earlier it was like
has to pay?
1500. It used to be 1500, where you get a modem free and then router free, and then you will also get like 3 months rental included in that money. So you basically got everything back, 50% of it. Now it's like they're charging like 3000, almost double, and you
3,000
do get the
rupees.
router, but yeah, Indian rupees. So so this is like nearly double, and you do get the free router and the setup, but no free rent. You'll have to pay the rent from the very first month. I'm like, that's not nice.
3,000 rupees is pretty cheap, though.
3000, yeah, it is, but it is not, because previously it was like 1500.
Mm,
Still,
yeah.
that is still an increase. I mean, you can say that, yes, oh, it's cheap. I mean, the whole medical tourism industry exists on the fact that you can get a head transplant for the money, you can get a tooth extraction in America.
Yeah, I mean, I think, well, it's cheap relative to what I paid. So I think when I bought my router,
Hmm.
the installation was free, but the router itself was $200 or something crazy like that.
$200 for a router?
I'm pretty sure. I might be remembering it wrong. It was a while ago because I bought a
I'll
new
tell you
one
what.
from the company.
Let me just tell you what a Belkin router cost here. Belkin is like the major brand. Hold on.
Let me see what. Let me look online.
Yeah, $2,000 wireless dual band travel router, 2,000, 2,200, the nice ones,
That's,
the D-Link. Yeah,
maybe it was $100
$1,700.
then. I
Yeah,
also,
but
but
still
I
that's
also
expensive,
got it
$100.
from the internet provider, which made it more expensive. But
Hmm.
because I got it from
I
the
mean,
internet
you're
provider,
talking like you're talking personal for the home one for like 5, 6 devices. You're not talking like a big office one, right? So it's like 2,200, 2,500. 2,500 is the most expensive I see for the personal routers. So that is $32. 32. Yeah,
I'm looking.
$30. Yeah. And this is a reputable brand.
Uh,
Because I had a Belkin, I remember, and that lasted forever previously. And
trying to figure out.
$135 Netgear router. Okay, Hillbilly, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna run a factory on that? Seriously?
I think that's the one I have is a Netgear one. Probably why it was more
Why
expensive.
would you get $100 office grade router when all you are gonna do is Facebook and YouTube?
Um, because my fiance likes to play video games, and that takes a lot of data. And if you're doing
Okay.
that while you're also like streaming, um,
Hmm.
or doing anything on your computer, it can be a little bit
Hmm.
laggy.
Yeah.
And I've noticed
Wow, I
really
can't
the
log in
only
on.
times I have issues with my internet is if there's a storm
Mhm.
blowing in.
Even on wired internet, you get problem with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure why. It's kind of
That's weird.
weird, actually. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Our um,
M-
our neighborhood is.
maybe I think it's like what they have is like they have the wireless setup in the area, and then they are giving you connection connected to their tower, perhaps. I don't know.
That would
Because
make
when we got the yeah, but
sense.
when we had the setup in our city, they dug up. They had literal cables in the ground. So this company had a contract to put. We used to have like electric poles with wires, so they used to get damaged quite frequently.
Yeah.
So we recently had a upgrade here, like some couple of years back. So
To like
all the
fiber
power
optic.
lines were being yeah, all the power lines were being pushed underground. That I mean, these are perks living in the national capital. You get everything
Huh.
first. So so they were putting all the cables like underground, and that was the same time when the internet companies also took the contract. That along with those cables, they would put the internet lines. So the entire cities were like all the pavements were dug up, and it was quite a conundrum. But still, we got something in return.
Right.
So these companies actually created zones. So I have a few friends who live in a zone which is not covered by their wired internet because they don't have the cables laid out, which was something I was like, okay, that's a thing. So, but the wired internet, the whole purpose of wired internet is that it is supposed to work in storms and
Right.
stuff like that.
Well, and even our neighborhood has really bad cell phone coverage
Hmm.
here because of interference from something. I'm not sure what it is, but there's interference somewhere. It might be actually because we have a fire station and a police station like 1,000 feet away, and I wonder if
Oh,
their
that can be.
radios can
That can be. That
interfere
can be.
with things.
Funny thing is, like in my apartment where I live, if you remember those videos I used to do looking down from my window,
Uh huh.
uh, that building is actually circular in design. So earlier, the apartment that I used to live was the one that was close to the road. That section of the building, I used to get a terrible cell phone coverage. Like, good for phone calls, but for the internet, the speed used to be super slow. Now I have moved to a different corner of the same building, which is away from the road and is in the back, literally. There, I get excellent network for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I'm
Huh.
like, what's going on?
Very
That's
interesting.
how it is. But I'll be going back there soon because we have the markets open up recently, so we will hopefully have the internet installation available. I'll have to pay more, but I can't just piggyback permanently on my neighbor's internet all the time. Fucking hate this. And this office computer is all entirely locked. It has like VPN. Unless you log into the VPN, it won't connect to the internet.
Hmm.
And VPN means it's running through the office gateway. So it's
Right.
literally like if I'm having the internet at my workplace. So I cannot open anything which is too outrageous.
Yeah, I have to work through VPN also.
And this is a $2,000 laptop. Not $2,000, like I think $1,500 laptop, which is still pretty expensive. Fucking Intel i7. It does get a very hot though sometimes for no reason, and then suddenly that wave of heat goes away. I don't know what happened there.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Um, oh, I was just gonna say I wish that I could steal my neighbor's Wi-Fi, but everybody's houses are too far apart.
That's good, no? You can actually do some interesting things in your house and nobody would know.
Yeah, that is true. We have a yard and everything, which is nice.
Do you have a pool with crocodiles?
Of course I do.
Yeah, then you must have a very peaceful neighborhood.
Yeah. Um, yeah, our neighborhood is actually very nice. It's pretty quiet. Most of the people who live here are older,
Hmm.
so there's not a
Yeah,
lot
look
of
who's here. Look who's
issues.
here. Hola banana.
Hola! Hola, banana.
Hillbilly has a lake full of gators. Why don't you push Phil in that sometime? And the gators would be like, motherfucker, you had no rights. Why did you throw this?
I've only seen, I think, crocodiles in real life.
You guys have alligators now. They look the same. I mean, there's not much difference.
Yeah, maybe I've seen alligators too.
Hmm.
I don't know. I've seen wild dolphins. That was kind of cool.
I have seen sharks. We took a boat trip to the ocean and they take you to like a spot where you're supposed to be whale watching. We didn't get to see the whales, but we did see the sharks.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. I'm like, actually, a shark is more interesting than a whale. So
I'm
there were a
afraid
few
of
people who were
dolphins
disappointed.
too.
We didn't get to see the whales. I'm like, what the fuck are you worried about? You used to get to see sharks.
Sharks are pretty cool because they're so old. Their
Hmm.
evolution really hasn't changed much in the last million years.
You're talking about sharks?
Yeah.
Oh, I read about Greenland sharks that they can live like 500 years or so.
Holy crap, that's
And
crazy.
yeah, and they can actually grab a reindeer from the side of the lake or like the sea and then pull it down. I'm like, okay.
Scary.
Yep. And they have this thing which I know it sounds very bizarre, but it is true. Their eyes have like it's like you will find every Greenland shark that has ever been documented. They have this thing in their eye where a parasite takes over, turning them blind, and it sort of latches onto their eye socket and then wiggles out. So they use it as a bait to attract prey.
Hmm.
And have you seen that parasite that lives in a fish's mouth, replacing its tongue?
Yes, I have. Have you seen the parasite that lives in shrimp? It lives like under their
No.
gills.
Under shrimp's gill?
Yeah, so it's really common in the Pacific Northwest of the United States, but it's
Hmm.
this little parasite and it looks kind of like a horseshoe crab,
Hmm.
and it lives underneath a shrimp's gills and will essentially just like kill the shrimp and then move to a new host. It's disgusting.
Whoa.
And so people will go and like pull the parasites out of the shrimp and then throw the shrimp back in the water.
Hmm.
It's disgusting.
No,
It's one
this
of the
the,
things.
this tongue thing is like it sort of replaces the tongue of the fish, but it doesn't kill it. It sort of lives in the body of the fish then.
Oh, that's weird. I've seen that, but I haven't ever learned about it.
Yeah, it's bizarre, honestly. It's like people say, "Oh, nature is so nice." I'm like, "Oh, please, you have no idea."
I love nature, but at the same time, like I'm not naive about it. Like there's
Yeah.
some scary shit out there. Humans being one of
Yes,
the things that's scary.
and literally, like the parasite sits there looking out with eyes and everything. Oh my God, this is. Oh.
I want to say sea anemones
See,
or
yeah.
urchins. Either sea urchins or I think it was sea urchins. They have like little tiny eyes all over them,
Hmm.
and you can only see them under a microscope, but they're like bright blue. And
Okay.
I saw a picture of those once, and that was kind of freaky. I'll have to look it up. I don't. I'm probably wrong at what animal it is.
Well, there is one animal called the bobbit worm because it attacks fish and it cuts them in half. So it is named after Lorena Bobbitt, who cut her husband's dick in half with a knife.
Ew.
Yeah. No, sea anemone doesn't have eyes. It is like a
Yeah, and
big
it wasn't the
flower.
sea urchin either.
I'm not
Sea urchins
sure.
have eyes, but it's not what I'm thinking of. Trying to find it. Oh, it was scallops.
Okay, let's see.
They have over
Scallops.
200. They have 200 eyes, and they're like bright
Let's see.
blue.
Oh yes, yes, I see it now. They're on their like lips of their shell. Scallops look like vagina.
And there's this one picture where it's just absolutely fucking terrifying, and it
Yeah,
looks
I see
like,
those blue dots. I see it. I see it.
oh, so gross.
Yeah,
I
I know. The
almost,
Bobbit dude got it back. I know. He picked it up. She took it and then threw it on the road, and then he had to pick it up, and then it was stitched back on, and he went into porn. I know. He even went to like on a wrestling show as well.
lucky for him, they were
John,
able to save it.
yeah, John Wayne Bobbitt. Wow, John Wayne Bobbitt and John Wayne Gacy.
Ola, I have a snake that lives in my backyard.
Do you like? Have you trained that snake to like attack the neighbors?
I've trained it to do all of my bidding.
Okay. Hey, this dude was good looking. The Bobbin dude was actually good looking. Let's see if I can find his video. Let me go to Pornhub. The benefits of VPN. Yeah, snakes that do the bidding. We have like, Voldemort and all that.
No, but this snake is just a gardener snake, so he doesn't really
Uh-huh.
do anything. He keeps pests away, which is good.
No, I have in my mom's garden. We have um, what do you call it? A chameleon, which has been here for years now.
That's cool.
So yeah, we don't like shoo him away or anything. He works well. So
John Bobbitt reminds me of the guy who plays Rex Vandekamp on Desperate Housewives.
no, he's a good-looking dude, honestly. In fact, the wife was pretty typical Walmart lady looking. That
Yeah.
the lady, she was very Walmart looking, honestly. But you can tell this dude is like a little bit like he does look a little douchebag types, but she was not right in her head, honestly, because she has attacked her mother also. So this lady has a history of violence. Besides, who knows what might have happened inside that house that day. I heard like it got like a lot of media attention when the case came out. You must be alive then when the case came out.
What case?
The Bobbitt case.
Oh, yeah, I did get a lot of media attention.
Like where everything was about this, like everything. It's like on the news because I remember that time like Mad TV was on and they were like every news has to be about Bobbitt case or nothing. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that was something. And then I looked up what Bobbitt case and I'm like, oh. Okay, so Pakistan army shoots down Indian spy quadcopter and they put a picture. It's a fucking drone you can buy off Amazon.
That's ridiculous.
I know. And people are laughing at this, honestly. Uh, fuck. Franken PP looks like. Oh, you can actually find his video, Hola Banana, on Pornhub. I just watched it. It had a scar at the base where it was reattached. And the man is actually rather fit for someone who is in his late 30s. So the video is pretty good that he did. He performed really well. It's rather impressive for someone who had a injury like that.
All right, Kanish.
Anyways, I have to get back now. Thanks, Karen, for showing up and having this conversation. I really needed this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah.
Talk
Take
to you
care.
later.